Hey guys, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk. So I'm going to do a top 40 songs video. Now you shouldn't take this too seriously for a number of reasons. First of all, I'm limiting myself to stuff I currently have on vinyl. I'm also limiting myself to like rock, pop, country, so there's no hip hop, jazz, reggae, world music that's going to be on here. I'm limiting it to one per artist. And then once I pick the 40 songs, I actually randomly numbered them. So don't think of this as my 40 favorite songs of all time. Think of this as 40 songs I like from my collection that I'm going to choose to talk about today. So, given that, so number 40 is going to be Miss You by the Rolling Stones, which is off the Some Girls album. And I've always just kind of thought that was like Mick Jagger at his coolest, that Miss You song and Bill Wyman's bass line. So I really like that song. Number 39, let's do some Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. So I have a recent remaster of it. I'm kind of thinking that sort of the end of the album, the Brain Damage and Eclipse together. I really like how Dark Side of the Moon ends. So we'll do that as my number 39. My number 38 is going to be Michael Jackson Thriller. I know, obviously, Michael Jackson's was a very problematic human being. Um, you can see this is the only Michael Jackson record I own. I wouldn't call myself like a big Michael Jackson fan. I've got this Beater album. Somebody has the beats per minute that they wrote on the album jacket, so this isn't near mint or anything. But Billie Jean is a really good song, so that's going to be my number 38. While we're talking about humongous names, number 37, Bob Dylan. So I picked the song Tangled Up in Blue off of Blood on the Tracks. I own a couple Bob Dylan albums. I'm nowhere near a completist. I'm not like a huge fan. I saw him play live once. I liked his band more than I liked him, but there's Bob Dylan. Number 36, probably more in my wheelhouse. So I have my Target edition on purplish vinyl, Pearl Jam. I'm picking the song Jeremy off of the 10 album. That's going to be my number 36. My number 35, look, it's a little Rekkid. It's a 7-inch. Prince, When Doves Cry. So I'm picking that as my number 35. I remember when this video came out and the way he played guitar, and I thought this was the coolest song off Purple Rain. I thought about picking 1999 as well. Number 34, Buffalo Springfield, What It's Worth. And so since I'm only doing one song per person, so I'm not going to pick a Neil Young song or a Stephen Sill song. I don't really think I was ever going to pick another Richie Furay song, but What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield, number 34. Number 33, let's go with some Liz Phair, Exile in Guyville. I think this is her masterpiece, and I'm picking the song Mesmerizing from Liz Phair, Exile in Guyville. My number 32 is going to be a Slater-Kinney song. I only have like the latter part of their discography on LP, and probably the middle part of their discography is what I prefer, which I don't have. But I do have this live album. I picked the song Jumpers off of The Woods because it does appear on this particular live album. That's my number 32. Number 31, let's do some new romantic synth pop. The Human League Dare, Don't You Want Me. Honestly, I don't think the other songs on this album are that great, but Don't You Want Me is just a brilliant song. And I'm going to pause and I'll come back with 10 more. All right, unpause. We're going to do the next 10. So number 30, again, we're sticking with some massive names here. Elton John, I'm picking his song Leave On off his Mad Men Across the Water. I'm not an Elton John completist. They basically have, I've got like this and the Tumbleweed Station and the Honky Chateau. Thought about Benny and the Jets, but I went with Leave On, Elton John, number 30. Number 29, we're going to do some Allman Brothers Band. I'm doing Whipping Post. That's my favorite Allman Brothers Band. So this Beginnings that I have here, this is a compilation of, it's basically the first two albums packaged together. And I also have a live version of this. This is off a recent Newberry Comics version of Fillmore East. So Whippin' Post is the last track on side 2 of that. Where are we at? Okay, number 28. I'm going to kind of cheat here because I'm going to have a song, and I have two different versions of this song by two different artists. So the song's called Cocaine Blues. So it appeared on Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. It also, before that, was on this album from the late 50s by Hank Thompson, Songs for Rounders. I did a video on this album at one point, and I did mistakenly, I thought that Hank Thompson wrote the song Cocaine Blues, and then he kind of made this album as sort of, because Cocaine Blues was never going to get on the radio in the 50s. This was just kind of a album full of sort of these gritty, non-commercial songs. But I actually learned that somebody named Red Arnell actually wrote the song in 1944, and it's really based on an even older blues song. So I had thought that Hank Thompson had written the song, and then Johnny Cash covered him, but the covering goes farther back. Quick change of gears. Number 27, Go-Go's. I'm going to go with so this is the debut, Beauty and the Beat. So I'm going to go with Our Lips Are Sealed. You could, of course, go with We Got the Beat as well. Number 26, we're going to go a little bit more obscure here. I currently only have this song on a 7-inch. So this is Caitlin Rose with Braylon Baxter, Shanghai Cigarettes. This was off her Own Side Now album, which came out about 10 years ago. That album's sort of a grail of mine. The original LP was out of print and pretty expensive, but I just found out I actually did a pre-order a couple days ago. ATL Records is reissuing Caitlin Rose's debut album, so I should have that hopefully in a couple of months. My number 25, Elliott Smith, Needle in the Hay. There's also a very good Juliana Hatfield cover of this song, which was it was actually on a couple different comps that American Laundromat did. This is a Kill Rock Stars sort of compilation of Elliott Smith's career. Then the Juliana Hatfield version is on the We Saved Latin, which is the comp of the Wes Anderson soundtrack songs. And then they also did a Elliott Smith tribute album. Number 24, this will be some relatively recent female singer-songwriter stuff. So there's Miss Skeleton Suit herself, Phoebe Bridgers, and I'm picking sort of the obvious song, Kyoto, off the Punisher album. I actually saw Phoebe Bridgers in 2016, open for the Blake Babies. Never heard of her. Thought she was pretty good, and she's obviously become massive since then. Mudhoney, I was going to go with Touch Me, I'm Sick, but then I realized that I only have that on CD. So with my vinyl-only rule, I'm going to go with Let It Slide off of Every Good Boy Deserves Fudge. And I got this recent reissue. I made a Mudhoney ranking video. No, I didn't do a ranking video of Mudhoney. I'm going to do that at some point. But this is, I did a video about that particular album. I think Mudhoney is a very, very underrated band. Uh, okay, we'll go more commercial here, and so you can see the person I bought this from wrote stuff right on the outer sleeve. So, Billy Joel, Glass Houses. Honestly, this is probably the only Billy Joel album I really like. If you'd asked me when I was younger, I probably would have picked like You May Be Right or It's Still Rock and Roll, but now I'm going to pick All for Lena as my Billy Joel song at number 22. Number 21, here we'll show this one on a couple different formats. Margot Price, her debut album, Midwest Farmer's Daughter. I'm going to pick a classic country drinking song called Hurtin' on the Bottle. And you can notice that I have the 7-inch of Hurtin' on the Bottle as well. This is when she was still on Third Man Records. Caitlin Rose happens to be one of the co-writers of the song. And then it's Desperate and Depressed as the B-side. So you can kind of see where we're coming from there. And I'm going to pause again and come back with 10 more. All right, we're back with 10 more. So number 20, we're going to go with Nirvana. I'm going to pick the song Lithium off of Nevermind. Actually, my favorite Nirvana song of all time is Pennyroyal Tea, but I don't have In Utero on vinyl at this point, so I'm going to go with Lithium as my number 20. Number 19, Funkadelic Maggot Brain will go with the title track just because of Eddie Hazel and his guitar work on that song. That's the reason why I'm picking that. Funkadelic Maggot Brain. Number 18, it seems like this album's been making a lot of my videos recently. In Excess, Listen by Like Thieves. And instead of picking What You Need, I am going to pick the title track, Listen Like Thieves. Recently, I did Vinyl Dale's contest, showing album in 3 formats. And for some reason, this is the only album I seem to have in all 3 formats of cassette, CD, and vinyl. It's not like it's my favorite album ever, and that was something intentional. Just sort of happened that particular way. Let's see, where are we at? Number 17, The Clash, London Calling. So at some point, I think when I made my favorite bands that were only on that I only had on compilations video, I'd mentioned The Clash. Well, I've cured that since then. I got London Calling. I got a score from a thrift store getting a clean triple LP Sandinista for $4, but I'm picking London Calling title track off of this album. So it seems like I like title tracks a lot. Next one, I'm not going with title track. Number 16, Lou Reed, New York. So this album came out in the late 80s, I think like 88. Yeah, 88. So I was an undergrad in college then. This is like the first Lou Reed album that I ever like seriously listened to. And Dirty Boulevard is going to be the Lou Reed song I'm going to pick. I know I could have gone with some choices from the 70s material, but I'm going to go with Dirty Boulevard, Lou Reed's New York, as my number 16. Number 15, okay, so here's a compilation. Stevie Wonder's original Musicarium, picking Superstition as my Stevie Wonder song. That's going to be my number 15. Randomness decided that the Stevies should be right back to back. My number 14 is going to be Stevie Nicks, Edge of 17, off of the Belladonna album. So this is the first track on side 2. This also has Leather and Lace. I listen to side 2 a lot more than side 1. That Waddy Wachtel guitar. So this means I'm not picking a Fleetwood Mac song for my list. I decided to go with the Stevie Nicks solo song over, and it tends to be with Fleetwood Mac. I mean, I do favor the commercial period over the Peter Green period or the Bob Welch period, and I too tend to like the Stevie Nicks songs like Rhiannon the most. in my Fleetwood Mac. So I figured I'd just go with a Stevie Nicks song. Number 13, Replacements. Maybe this isn't the coolest Replacements album to pick your favorite from, but I'm going to pick one off of Pleased to Meet Me. I'm going to pick Alex Chilton, just because I think that's a really, really, really catchy song. Really good. And so, again, randomness. So next to Mr. Westerberg's work, we're going to go with Miss Hatfield's work. And so this honestly is probably not my favorite Juliana Hatfield song, and not even my favorite Juliana Hatfield song that I have on vinyl. But this is the show-off formats. So My Sister, which is probably her most well-known song, you see I have it on the American 7-inch, which is on sort of a silverish vinyl, and that was back in 1993. This isn't, there was not a recent reissue of this. It was even numbered. I have number 1255 out of 500. There's Juliana wearing a wig on the back. We got Dean and Todd, so the drummer on the left, the bass player on the right, on the front cover there. I also happen to have the English 10-inch. So this is labeled as being on Mammoth rather than on Atlantic. And so the American 7-inch has 3 songs on it. So side B had A Dame with a Rod and Put It Away. The 10-inch actually has 4 songs. So the song Ruthless also appears on here. I think it's the only place that song appears. I don't have Become What You Are on vinyl because that was 1993. It was only released, the full album was only released on cassette and CD in America. I have the CD, and it was released on vinyl in Europe. It's not very common. It's expensive. I don't have it. They reissued her subsequent album, Only Everything, a few years ago, which I got on vinyl, but for some reason they've never reissued that one. And my number 11, we'll do some White Stripes. So again, this is the White Blood Cells 20th Anniversary Edition. I'm picking Dead Leaves and the Dirty Ground as my favorite White Stripes song, not the overplayed Seven Nation Army that you could hear at sporting events. And we'll come back with 10 more. All right, we're going to do my last 10. It's probably be my longest video ever. I try to keep them under 10 minutes, and this one's going to go over 20. So if anybody made it this far, my number 10, we'll go with a Dinosaur Jr. song. I'm going to go with Raisins off of You're Living All Over Me. So I got the Newberry Purple Ripple Translucent. Ooh, very cool. Of course, you got Jay Mascis ripping up the guitar. He's fast and reckless. You think he's going to lose control, but he never does. Lou Barlow, Murph. So classic lineup. Young, full of energy. Raisins. Number 9. Jeff Buckley. Well, I'm going to go, again, I'll kind of go with the obvious choice. I'll go with the Leonard Cohen cover. Hallelujah. Of course, career cut far short because of his accidental drowning. Got a cool blue vinyl with this Jeff Buckley record. Number 8. Now, I don't have as many Susie and the Banshee records as I would like on vinyl, but even if I had the entire Susie discography on vinyl, I would still pick from this album. I would still pick Juju from 1981. This is Susie and the Banshees at their zenith. Susie and Steve Severin ever present on vocals and bass. We've added Budgie on drums. We have John McGeoch on guitar. They always churn through guitar players. He's the best one they ever had. Spellbound, lead-off track on Juju. Just, if you don't like Spellbound, you don't like Susie and the Banshees. And again, while we're being random, sort of same era, same scene. The Cure I'm picking off of 17 Seconds. This happens to be the only Cure album I have on vinyl. This is a picture disc that I got at a record store day. That's the only picture disc I own. I'm not really into picture discs. I'm not sure why I chose to buy this particular one, but it has a Forest on it. And a Forest is a really good 17-second song. Although if I had Disintegration on vinyl, I would be making a different choice here. Another band I have quite a bit of on vinyl is My Morning Jacket. These boys from Louisville. I happen to like Circuital from 2011 as my favorite My Morning Jacket album. I don't think that's the standard choice, but I'm picking the song Victory Dance. So this is kind of, I did Allman Brothers earlier. This is kind of representing the jam band. I have tons of Fish CDs, but I don't have any on vinyl. I have a couple Grateful Dead records on vinyl, but I decided not to pick a Grateful Dead song, but I picked My Morning Jacket, Victory Dance off of Circuital. Number 5, we'll do some Queen. My favorite Queen album is Queen 2, and my favorite song off of this album is March of the Black Queen, which I will tell you is, you think Bohemian Rhapsody is cool, March of the Black Queen is 10 times as cool as Bohemian Rhapsody. Number 4, I hardly ever mention this band in my videos, but I like System of a Down. I have Toxicity, and the penultimate song on this record, Aerials. It's got that really weird, creepy video, if you've seen that video. But I think Aerials is the best System of a Down song. It's one of their more mellow songs. But Surge, sometimes he's rapping, sometimes he's singing, sometimes he's growling, but it's pretty cool. Number 3, talked about these guys before. Police, Alandos d'Amour, going with Roxanne. I really love the Police's version of the song Roxanne. And so that's the song I'm going to go with from the Police. Number 2, Mr. Sturgill Simpson. Metamodern sounds in country music. Turtles all the way down. Psilocybin, PSB, marijuana, yes. Yes, this country boy likes his chemicals. So, but it's a really good song. There are plenty of good Sturgill songs that you could pick from. So, Sturgill Simpson, number 2. But randomness decided that I would pick a U2 song as my number 1. And so, I've mentioned before, this is my favorite album. And I'm going to go with Pride in the Name of Love as my favorite U2 song. I could have gone with something, maybe a slightly edgier choice, but that's what I'm going to go with. Pride in the Name of Love, U2, The Unforgettable Fire. My number 1, due to randomness, but it's pretty cool. So, there you have it. 40 songs I like, 40 different artists on various forms of vinyl.